Well, hey there. Where did you come from? I was just sitting here minding my own business for over a year, and suddenly I felt compelled to talk to you, entire internet. About a year ago, little bit more, I made spiritual awakening my top priority. And automatically, as I say that, I feel some need to criticize myself. I still have thoughts that run through that say that's not a legitimate endeavor. That say there are real things you could be pursuing, like accumulation of wealth, general career success, development of your social life, all wonderful things. And I'm getting to a place where some of those things are probably going to take more priority. But spiritual endeavor has been so important to me for the last 7+ years. And finally, starting a little over a year ago, I felt like I was on a sincere path, knowing where I was and knowing where I was headed. Thanks to a mentorship that I undertook with a great man who I will talk about in the future. And it's been a fantastic past year, which is crazy to say because it's been one of the hardest, most challenging past years that I can even recall of my entire life. And that partly has to do with some external life circumstances. There was a lot of shifting situations and loss and just general reframing what I wanted to do with myself and how I wanted to carry myself and who I wanted to be. But even bigger than all of that, I've had multiple awakenings the past year. Which sounds fantastic, and it is. But it's also been extremely challenging and harrowing. Because periodically, I just have my whole worldview completely flipped around. Completely irrevocably shifted so that I can never view the world from the way that I previously did. And it's occurred at such a rate that I didn't even think was possible. Or I had mostly given up on thinking it was possible. When you first get onto some kind of spiritual path, you probably have big, overblown fantasies of one big overnight awakening. And then you are permanently spitting a little bit into the air. You are permanently in this radically different state. Like you were right here, and then you went right up here. Thankfully, actually, that's not how it goes. If it did go like this to this, which I've heard it has for some people, very, very rare, you'd almost be non-functional. To have your whole perspective shifted that incredibly in that short a period of time, it would certainly make day-to-day functioning very, very hard. Now, my day-to-day functioning was hard enough, even just going at like this level, and this level, and this level. Because maybe it wasn't a leap from here to here, but even a leap from here to here could just feel astronomical and crazy. And that is a word that I have feared historically being called for talking about any of this stuff. Is that, well, he's just crazy. I can already hear anybody that I try to talk to about this just calling me crazy. And of course, anybody's free to think that I'm crazy. I mean, that's not the big deal. The real fear is the possibility that it's true. the doubt in my own experiences that I've had. And I do think that most people that I know can't relate to a lot of these experiences that I've had. And it doesn't make me any better than any of those people. If anything, it kind of makes me worse sometimes, because it makes me feel isolated from pursuits and worldviews that are shared by the world at large. Or, if not at the world at large, just the general group of people around me. And I have great people around me. There's absolutely no equation of spiritual person to good person. I have gained absolutely no superiority. And that is, again, one of the hardest sacrifices. Because why do you undertake spirituality? In some ways to make yourself better, and in some ways to make yourself better than other people. When we're playing this game of comparison that we just always do with those around us, it feels like it gives us a bit of a leg up to say, hey, I'm an enlightened giant. You could be a millionaire. Or you could be more charismatic than me. But hey, I'm enlightened. So, but that's one of the final steps that took me to where I am right now. To where the spiritual mentorship has just ceased. Not because I'm done learning anything that there ever is to learn, but because I have received everything that he has had to give me. The final step of that was giving up the idea of being an enlightened person. Giving up the idea of taking any personal credit for any of the spiritual growth, awakenings, experiences that have occurred. Because just like everything, it is by complete happenstance. You could call it luck. It is luck in some ways. But it's not any sort of badge of honor for this entity known as Joe. And he's great. I mean, he's as beautiful as anything else in this world. But I've given up the idea of being an enlightened person. In some ways, I've given up the identity with anything that people call a person. I mean, I am the pure awareness of this person in the first place. I am the pure awareness of everything. In some ways, I am everything. And in some ways, I'm nothing. I'm untraceable. Do I sound crazy yet? Well, I hope to keep sounding crazy more consistently. I didn't want to share too much for a while because I felt like my whole perspective was constantly just reshifting, so I feared sharing something and then instantly the next week or 2 weeks or month later it would be something that I completely disowned. But I don't really fear that anymore. Even if it does happen, so what? So what? You get me in the state that you see me today. Which is a person who's had a heck of a year and is ready for another heck of a year ahead of me. Heck of a lifetime, if that's what it takes. And it's good to be back. It is good to be back here. I was wondering if I should stop on this road trip that I've been taking today to film this video just sort of on the side of the road. There was sort of a will it, won't it happen? And then the truck in front of me started driving ridiculously slowly to the point where it only made sense for me to get off onto my own little comfy shoulder in my quiet little dome, watching the world pass by, which is exactly what the rest of my life is looking like. And I love it from here. And I feel very blessed and honored to experience and to have the capability of relaying these experiences. That is a true gift that is so easily taken for granted by me especially. And all I can do is just utilize that gift that has been given me. So, thank you. Thank you, one. Thank you all. Thank you, everything. Talk to you soon.